My beloved child, do not hesitate any longer. They are chasing you, not with swords and spears, but with venom-laced words and gazes that appear loving, yet are filled with deceit. I see them drawing near, pretending to bring peace, yet secretly sowing chaos. I have stretched out my hands, opened my wings for you to take refuge. Run, my child. Hide under the shadow of my wings before it is too late. You must not stay there any longer. That place is no longer the haven you believed it to be. Familiar smiles are revealing fangs, and warm embraces are turning into chains. I am not telling you to run because you are weak. I am telling you to leave so that you may survive. For there are places where, if you do not flee, you will be devoured while still believing you are being loved. I did not call you to be a hero in a battle I never sent you to fight. There are confrontations that appear righteous but are, in truth, cleverly disguised traps. I see the enemy setting bait, playing the victim, manipulating your steps through emotional strings. I do not want you to fix it. I want you to stay away. Because in certain places, your presence changes nothing except that it changes you. My child, listen to me. The enemy never enters through the front door. He slips in through the cracks of compliments, sympathetic looks, and promises wrapped in false grace. These people may not be evil in themselves, but the spirit within them is not from me. When you step into places I have warned you about, you don't just lose peace, you lose protection. That's why I tell you to leave and not to stay and try to redeem. For there are environments you were not sent to transform but called to avoid in order to survive. You blame me for your loneliness, for feeling lost, for being misunderstood. But do you not see? It is here, in this hidden place, that I can cleanse you from emotional dependency, from the need to be validated, from the illusion of acceptance. I need you to flee from the false light so that you will seek only the true light me. In that place, no one applauds, no one calls your name, no one offers rewards, but you will find me, and I will equip you with wisdom, so that when you emerge, you will no longer be led by imitation but guided by truth. My beloved child, slow down and look carefully. Not everything that appears good is holy. Some words sound like truth, but when held against my truth, you will see they are slightly skewed, and that slight deviation can lead you astray for a lifetime. The enemy does not always come in pitch-black darkness as you expect. He comes in dim light, just enough that you won't realize the darkness still lingers. He knows you love what is right, so he paints wrong with the language of virtue, with the tone of kindness, so that you let your guard down. And when you stop being cautious, you begin to receive. When you receive, you begin to believe. And when you believe, you drift from me without even realizing it. I see those you regard as mentors, spiritual guides, friends of the faith. They don't use whips, they use affirmations that seem to understand you, respect you, lift you up. But the spirit within them was not sent by me. Sweetness without truth is not love, it is bait. Sympathy not grounded in my word is not comfort, it is spiritual sedation. The enemy uses things that seem right to dull your sensitivity to warning. He doesn't need to push you down, only to gently steer you just enough off course from me. And that is enough. My child, there are acts of kindness that, on the surface, appear righteous, but actually lead you into compromise. Someone tells you, forgive by accepting everything they do wrong. But you forget that I also teach you to discern and to set boundaries. Someone says, "Love never says things that hurt," but they forget that I also instruct with firm correction. The enemy does not deny Scripture, he distorts it little by little, and a half-truth is still a lie. I want you to learn my word in its fullness, so that no one can confuse kindness with righteousness. That is why you must stay closer to me than ever before. When you learn to discern not just what is right, but what is right in the right time, in the right way, with the right spirit, you will no longer be enchanted by the appearance of goodness. I do not teach you to distrust people, but I do teach you to test every spirit. I do not give you a spirit of fear, but I do give you clarity to see what is true and what is false. When you are in me, you will realize there are words that sound beautiful but carry no life. There are deeds that look noble but lack obedience. And there are people who seem good but do not have me. My child, I know you are waiting. There are days when your heart is weary because your prayers are met with silence. There are moments when my silence feels like abandonment. But no, you are not forgotten. I am working more than you realize, even when there are no visible signs. Delay is not a dead end, it is a covering. For there are things that, if I gave them to you now, would destroy you without your knowing. You long to walk through a new door, to reach the dream I placed in your heart, but you do not see the other side where threats await that you are not yet ready to withstand. Some invitations may look like opportunity, but they are traps masked with roses. Some relationships you wait for may arrive out of time, and they will derail you from your calling. I cannot give you what your soul is not yet mature enough to carry with integrity, so I hold you back. I withhold the calls, the messages, the invitations. I close the doors. You don't understand. But it is not punishment, it is protection. A shield against what looks good, but is not from me. I will not let you walk out uncovered. I wait until you wear full armor: discernment, humility, obedience, and a heart that pauses when I say, "Not yet." I do not measure your maturity by what you can do, but by how you wait. When you learn stillness without bitterness, when you pray without seeing results, when you stop wrestling and begin to trust, that is when you are being prepared for the next season. For something greater is coming, but it requires someone deeper to sustain it. And I am deepening you in every moment you think is a delay. So do not rush. Do not mistake delay for failure. Do not assume my silence means you are unworthy. My child, you are being hidden like a precious gem, not yet ready for unveiling. When the time comes, every promise I have spoken will not be late by even 1 hour, and you will see those years of waiting have preserved your soul from countless snares I saw in advance. My child, there are people who enter your life not to walk with you, but to slow you down. They don't appear as enemies, nor do they carry visible swords or obvious traps. They come with smiles, with empathetic eyes, with words that sound like I sent them to heal you. But remember this, not everyone who makes you feel good is bringing good from me. Some sweet words hide bitter intentions. Some warm embraces conceal claws waiting for the right moment. The enemy does not begin by hating you. He first tries to be your friend. He silently builds your trust in those he has sent. And through them, he drains your obedience, your purity, and your childlike heart. He does not shout to frighten you. He whispers to soften you. He does not drag you away. He causes you to walk out from under my covering by making you believe. This person understands me better than God does. My child, Closeness does not always mean truth, and familiarity does not always mean righteousness. Some relationships bear the appearance of peace, but deep within, they are designed to pull you off course from your calling. I see those who are called blessings, yet in truth, they are bait. I hear the words they speak, words you think are uplifting, but they slowly cause you to doubt what I myself have spoken. There are encounters that are not accidental at all, but orchestrated from the depths of hell to blind you with emotion. Some come only to inflate your ego, leading you into pride. Others claim to be spiritual companions, yet the spirit within them is not of the Holy Spirit. And without noticing, you begin to replace my voice with theirs, divine guidance with human advice, my presence with soul-tinted conversations instead of spirit-born ones. I do not tell you to distrust everything, but I do teach you to test all things by the word. If anything pulls you away from me, no matter how sweet it seems, it is not from me. If a relationship leads you to compromise truth, to silence your convictions instead of standing firm, if it causes you to lose the deep peace within, then, my child, that is not something I ordained. You must learn to say no, even to things that appear pleasant. For obedience is not always soft, but it always leads to life. And if I have caused someone to walk away from you, do not hold them back. If I have closed a door, do not try to explain it away. For though you may not see it now, I know where that person would eventually lead you, no matter how caring they seem today. I know what awaits behind that closeness. Let me be the one who filters who remains near you. For it is the purity of your relationships that will keep your calling undefiled. Beloved, there are times I do my greatest works in silence. I don't always announce, I don't always make you feel it, and I don't always show you results immediately, but silence does not mean absence. My stillness is not abandonment. It is the sacred space I create to align all things with utmost precision. For I do not act based on emotion, I act based on truth and eternal timing. I have shut doors you once thought were opportunities. I have shattered plans you once held dear. I have ended relationships that seemed to be blooming without warning. Dreams you labored to nurture suddenly feel unfinished, and you sit, wondering where I've gone. But, my child, I am the one who did these things not to take from you, but to save you from what you cannot yet see. There are things you cannot perceive from where you stand. People you thought would walk with you for a lifetime may carry an influence that would skew your vision. Projects you poured your heart into may be built on sand, not rock. So I let them collapse, not out of cruelty, but mercy. If I did not intervene, the very dream you chase would become a net drawing you far from me. So when you see interruption, remember, it is my hand, redrawing the blueprint with greater accuracy. I am the architect, and I leave no stone out of place. If something is wrong, I will uproot it, dismantle it, remove it even if it makes you weep, because true love does not tolerate distortion. I am building for you a foundation that cannot be shaken, and that requires exactness, no cracks allowed, not even the hidden ones. O child, do not rush to call the ending of a thing a failure. Some breaking is release. Some closed doors are protection from a fall. Some losses are my way of pruning what bears no fruit. And in all these things, I am not standing far off, I am close, working in the silence, stitching every torn place in your soul with the precision of a father who never makes mistakes. Beloved, I do not just call you to walk by faith, I call you to walk with discernment, In a time where darkness cloaks itself in light, and truth is diluted into palatable words, spiritual discernment is no longer optional. It is a survival weapon. Not everything spoken in my name truly comes from me. Not everything agreed upon by many carries the breath of the Spirit. Some words sound right, but the spirit behind them is wrong. Some advice seems wise, but is not founded on my word. Therefore, you must walk wise as serpents, yet innocent as doves, not suspicious, but not naive, not judgmental, but always testing. You must learn to listen not just with ears, but with your spirit. You must learn to see not just with your eyes, but with the light of my word. For many things will appear right, kind, reasonable, but will lead your soul far from my presence. And that distance rarely comes as a sudden fall, but as a subtle drift, gentle enough that you don't realize you're off course. My child, truth is not always popular. In fact, it's often rejected. It makes people uncomfortable. It calls them to change, to humble themselves, to surrender what they want to keep. That is why truth is not celebrated. And that is why I need you to test everything not by emotion, not by consensus, but by my presence. Only when you sit with me, when you allow the Holy Spirit to examine every thought, every motive, every relationship, will you truly know what is real. Spiritual discernment is not fear. Dear one, it is the fruit of intimacy with me. It is the outcome of faithfulness, of seeking, of those quiet mornings where you sat still, not because you needed something, but because you needed me. And it is in that secret place that I give you spiritual eyes to see through disguises, to know what is true light and what is false. In an age where deception is preached as righteousness, you cannot survive on good intentions. You need discernment. Guard it like treasure. Protect your heart. For the enemy does not fear enthusiasm. He fears revelation that comes from me. When you can discern what I have established versus what he has imitated, when you are not swayed by glamour nor by loud voices, then you are walking in true power. Not the strength of crowds, but the steadfastness of one who knows they are standing in the light of the Holy One. My child, be still and listen to me with your heart, not your ears, not your logic. I saw you long before light was called out of darkness. When everything was void, I thought of you. You are not a random occurrence, not a soul adrift in the tides of life. You are part of my eternal design, a manuscript written by my hand, unedited, unshortened, never forgotten. Every hair on your head is numbered by me. Every breath you take is witnessed by me. And every time you doubt your worth, I see a treasure waiting to be unveiled. I wove your soul with golden thread from heaven. Every dream, every ache, every sleepless night I know. I don't just see you now, I see your future self. Strong, mature, unshakable. You as a city on a hill, unhidden. Your light is not of your own making, it is mine, shining through you, causing darkness to tremble. That is what makes the enemy fear. He is not afraid of what you've done. He fears what you're about to do. He is not trying to steal your present. He aims to destroy the future I've prepared for you. You don't realize it, but your presence on this earth is already disturbing the realm of darkness. He senses the influence within you that you haven't yet discovered. He knows if you remain close to me, if you don't leave the secret place, you will be equipped to tear down every trap he has laid, not just for you, but for those you are called to reach. He's not merely trying to make you stumble, he's trying to make you question yourself. He whispers that you're nothing special, that what I said was your imagination, that you're not good enough to be used. But, my child, it is in the moments you feel most empty that I am filling you with what the eye cannot see. You carry a sacred oil, an anointing unlike any other, not because you are better, but because I chose you, in my own way. And what I placed in you is not for display, it is for war, for healing, for building up. That is why darkness strikes you harder than most. Not because you're weak, but because you're significant. Not because you're off course, but because you're nearing your true assignment. Every battle, every rejection, every closed door is a sign that you carry something of eternal worth. The enemy knows if he doesn't stop you early. There will come a day you walk into your destiny with unstoppable force. So he uses subtlety, not force, but flattery. He makes you believe stopping is wisdom, giving up is peace, playing it safe is strength. But, my child, I did not call you to comfort, I called you to bring my kingdom into the darkness. I did not anoint you to sit still. I anointed you to walk, to reach the ones only you can reach. You are part of an invisible war. You carry an influence far beyond what you know. There are generations waiting for your voice. There are souls standing on the edge of despair, waiting for a word from you, a word born of my teaching to come back to life. And that is why the attacks against you are not random. They are targeted. They are strategic. And their aim is this: to make you doubt your very calling. But my child, let me say this again, you are not a mere survivor. You are a warrior, refined through every silent season, every endurance, every night your pillow soaked with tears. You have not fallen from my hand. Through every storm you've endured, you are still here, and that alone is proof that my hand has never let go. I go before you, leveling the rough paths, removing what looks good but has no root in me. And in every seeming loss, you are being refined not to survive, but to reign. I did not intend for you to pass through this life as a visitor. I called you to build, to plant, to awaken barren lands with your very steps. You were born to push back darkness, not avoid it. And what makes you most dangerous to the kingdom of darkness is not your talent, but your obedience. When you choose to remain in my presence, when your ear leans near my heart, when you let me guide every decision, every connection, then nothing can stop you. No battle can defeat you. No voice can shake you. My child, stand firm. Let the anointing within you mature in stillness. Allow my light to purify every motive. Let my fire consume all that is not of me. For the time is near when I will call your name in the midst of the crowd. I will open doors no one can shut. I will lead you to places you never dared dream of, not so that you may be exalted, but so that my name may be glorified through your life. And on that day, every pain you've endured will become evidence of faithfulness. Every tear will turn into a seed of breakthrough. So, dear one, do not let silence make you doubt. Do not let the words of others drown out mine. Do not let delay lead you to give up. For from the very beginning, I have known you, and I have never changed my mind. What I have begun, I will complete. What I have planted in you will bear fruit not by your strength, but by my very presence, the one who chose you, called you, and will lead you to the end. You need only one thing: remain in me. Darkness has never endured the light. From the beginning, It has trembled at even the faintest glimmer. For light not only illuminates it, exposes. And you, my beloved child, you are that light. Not a light birthed by human will or personal effort, but a flame I myself have lit with the fire of my spirit. That lamp was not born in peace, but through crushing, through breaking, through seasons when you thought you had withered away. But no, I preserved that flame. I did not let it die. You are the precious oil I have kept. Through every rejection, misunderstanding, isolation, and forgetting what others discarded, I gathered what they buried. I lifted up, for I do not see as man sees. I see within you a strength even you struggle to believe is real. You were once weak, yet not broken. You were struck, but I did not let you shatter. I allowed you to go through, not to destroy you, but to refine you, to purify you, and to reshape you into the image of resilience. You are the vessel I placed through the fire, and now you can carry glory without breaking. And because of this, the darkness fears you, but it does not strike loudly. It whispers, it watches, it looks for paths through your emotions, your relationships, through wounds you thought had healed. It does not work alone. It sows words into hearts that appear innocent, supportive, avakint, words that seem true, advice that seems loving, connections that seem divinely arranged, but the spirit behind them is not from me, though they bear the names of friends, mentors, or companions. Their motives do not carry the imprint of my spirit. I see it all. I hear the conversations whispered in the dark, where your name is spoken not to intercede but to investigate. I know the approach is not innocent. The enemy does not need a sword to reach you. He only needs a heart left unguarded, a soul easily led, through which he can slip in. Not every encouragement is harmless. Not every companionship is pure. Some are not overtly wicked but are simply easily used. And that, my child, is what makes them dangerous. Therefore, now is the time for you to step back, not in fear, not as one defeated, but to hide yourself like a warrior under divine pause. Understand this: hiding is not failure. It is strategy. It is my way of shielding you from arrows you are not yet prepared to face. I do not call you to silence forever, but there is a time to hold your breath, to hear the wind. A time to retreat into the secret place so I may reassemble the pieces. A time to step away from the crowd to preserve my voice among the many invitations. Hide yourself in me within the rock that cannot be shaken, beneath the shadow of the Almighty where peace remains. Do not let emotion drive you from that place. Do not let loneliness lead you to seek validation outside of me. For in the storm, the safest place is not where people gather, but where I dwell. You do not need to appear strong before others. You only need to be tender before me. I do not ask you to prove your strength, I ask you to come closer. My child, the enemy will do everything to pull you out of the spiritual covering. He knows he cannot touch you while you remain in me. So he will entice you with the hunger to be seen, acknowledged, understood, and used. But know this: when the time comes, I will bring you out, not by the stirring of your soul, but by the confirmation of my spirit. Until then, remain in me. Let me be your fortress, your watchman, the one who extinguishes arrows before they reach you. You are not abandoned. You are being hidden, like a seed not yet ready for the light. like an instrument being tuned in a private room, like a soldier being trained in stillness. No one sees, but I see. No one understands, but I understand. And it is this very silence that is forging an unshakable strength. For when I unveil you, you will not step out with a wounded heart, but with clarity, conviction, and an abundance of oil. So wrestle with me no more. My child, do not cry over doors I've closed. Do not mourn the ones I've removed. Do not cling to what merely appears good but lacks roots in me. You are mine, and I know exactly when, where, and how you will step into your appointed destiny. No striving, no defending required. When I bring you out of hiding, no one will be able to stop you, and every watcher from the shadows will see it was I who preserved you from their reach. You are a warrior, but you are also my child. You carry a calling, but first, you are loved. And because I love you, I will not let you be exposed too soon. I will not let the calling in you be consumed by unfamiliar voices. Let me protect you as only an Almighty Father can. Step back not in defeat, but in divine timing. For your light still burns, but for now, let it blaze within me until the world is ready for it. Beloved child, the light within you makes darkness restless. It is my presence upon you that enrages the enemy, not because you are powerful, but because I chose you to be a light that cannot be hidden. You are the lamp I lit in the heart of the night. And the enemy knows this. He cannot snuff it out through obvious darkness. So he sends those who appear kind, pretending to support, to listen, to walk with you. But their spirit is not from me. Their voices sound soothing but carry no life. Their actions seem loving, but lack the fire of my spirit. And for that reason, I've placed you in hiding, not as a coward fleeing battle, but as treasure under refinement. You are under the strict watch of heaven, not observed by them, but by me, the one whose eyes never sleep, who misses not a single stirring of your heart. I see it all. I see traps laid just a few steps ahead. I hear the whispers in the night, seemingly harmless conversations designed to pierce your soul. I recognize the forced smiles, the flattering words laced with snare, the handshakes wrapped in intent. And because I see all, I hold you back. I pull you from the crowd. I shatter plans that once seemed perfectly aligned, not because you were wrong, but because I am making it right. You think you are ready, but there are things only I can see beneath the surface of your peace. There are doors that look open, but if you enter, they will drain the anointing within you and dull the voice I placed inside. You think you've been abandoned, but truly, you've been hidden. You feel forgotten, but I am covering you with the wings of the Almighty. Be at peace. My child, let this silence feed your discernment. Let stillness become the place where I shape your soul bit by bit, not through noise, not through man's words, but through the bond that cannot be broken between you and me. Do not react hastily. Dear one, your emotions are strong, but the enemy knows how to use that to draw you out of time. He loves urgency. He plants confusion, disarray, and a false sense of must act now, just to pull you from where I've placed you, to make you speak words I have not released, to run ahead of the timing I've ordained. But you do not belong to the noise. You do not live by the temptation of do something now. You were created to walk by the rhythm of my heart, and that rhythm sometimes beats in silence. So now, I speak to you gently but firmly. Be still. Guard your heart from all other voices. Close your ears to words that sound wise but do not come from me. Learn to move only when I speak. Do not act because of pressure. Wait to be sent. Do not speak to defend yourself. Only speak what I put in your mouth. When you act according to what I appoint, you will see my power revealed clearly, without striving, without argument, without needing to prove anything. My child, in silence there is power the world cannot grasp. In hiding, there is glory being sealed. I do not conceal you to forget you. I conceal you to prepare you. I do not hold you back because you are weak. I hold you back so what I've placed in you will not be torn by hasty hands. And when I say now, you will step forward not in uncertainty, but with precision. You will not emerge weary, but with feet strengthened by waiting. You will not speak words others want to hear, but words from my mouth, and those words will not fall to the ground without purpose. Do not fear this silence. Beloved, I am right here in the midst of it, and it is in the quietest place that you will hear my voice the clearest. Remain. Obey. Let me finish what I have begun in you. For not one word from my mouth is wasted, and not one child I've chosen is nameless. You are mine, and I am shaping you for a time that is not far off. Beloved child, weep no more. I see the loneliness creeping into the long nights when there's no one you can call to unburden your heart. I hear the sighs you've hidden, the tears you've wiped away, the heaviness in your soul as you watch others withdraw, leaving only silence and unnamed absence from those who once said, I will walk with you. But this is not abandonment. This is sacred selection. I am peeling away the layers no longer needed for your next season. I am lightening your load, so you can soar without being anchored by ties that are not from my spirit. There are people who were once necessary, truly. They were the ones I used for a season. To uplift, to guide, to walk alongside you. But my child, not everyone who begins the journey with you is meant to reach the destination with you. And I, in my perfect wisdom, have appointed a time for all things. When a relationship begins to fracture, when words begin to carry a different tone, when companionship quietly turns into competition, that is the sign that the season has come to an end. Not because you were not enough, nor because they were too broken, but because I do not want your calling to become entangled. There are things which, if allowed to grow beside you, would destroy the vineyard I am planting within your heart. You are not in the fire to be abandoned. You are in the fire so that I may refine you. That flame is not here to consume you, but to burn away all that is no longer needed. I never waste pain. Every misunderstanding, every rejection, every doubtful glance cast your way, each is a wind I use to blow away the chaff. So only the true grain remains. For gold is only genuine when refined, and a calling only deepens when it is pruned of noise and false alliances. My beloved, do not fear being misunderstood. Do not mourn their silence. For when the voice of man grows quiet, my voice becomes clearer. When you have no one else to lean on, you will learn to lean wholly on me. The loneliness you now feel is not emptiness, it is divine arrangement, so that I may fill you with myself, undiluted by the noise of this world. I am working behind the veil, not with loud displays, but with careful detail, like a potter shaping with his hands. I am molding your heart to be tender to truth and resolute in obedience. There are some who carry within them the seed of envy, and though that seed is small, if not removed, it will grow into roots of bitterness. I cannot allow that subtle poison to exist near you, because I am opening new wells of living water within your soul, and that water must be kept pure. If even a drop of poison enters, it will cloud the entire spring. You think I am taking people from you, but in truth, I am protecting you from invisible contamination you've yet to discern. What you call loss, I call purification. Trust me, my child, those who truly belong with you, I will keep. Those who are no longer necessary, I will remove. Not because I am unfeeling, but because I am overflowing with love. I do not let emotion override my plan for your life. I will not let temporary attachments destroy eternal purposes. I see what's ahead, you cannot. I know what awaits at the end of the path, the spiritual battles, the enticing temptations, the invitations that seem right but are not. That is why I must purify you, prune you, protect you, even if, for a moment, it causes you pain. Let me do this. Dear one, do not cling to those I have removed. Do not rebuild bridges I have allowed to fall. Do not call. Do not message. Do not strive to explain yourself to those who have chosen to walk away, for sometimes the separation is not neglect, but mercy. When I close a door, it is not because I do not love, but because I long to preserve. Some who would have stayed would pull you backwards, muffle my voice in your heart, or lead you to trade depth for human approval. And I love you far too much to let that happen. So come, my child, enter the secret place with me. Let me heal the sorrow of being left behind. Let me replace the noise of betrayal with the whisper of truth. Let me bind up your wounds, but do not sew back together the ties I have cut. For what I am building in you requires space, requires separation, silence, and a circle hand-picked by the Spirit, not chosen by your emotions. You are not losing people, you are being prepared, not to live defensively, but to live with power and discernment. I am teaching you what only those with a sacred calling must learn, that loneliness is often part of holiness, that not every relationship is meant to endure, and that I never take without preparing to give you something greater. You are a precious vessel in my hands, forged by fire and tears. Yet you shall stand firm in the storm. Do not look around. Do not compare. Do not long for what was. Look up. For in the coming season, I will not only speak through you, I will cause you to live as a testimony, not because you are unscathed, but because even wounded, you walk with me, and that will shake even the hardest hearts. Are you ready? If so, remain hidden, not out of fear, but with the confidence that when I bring you into the light, no one will be able to deny what I have done in you. My child, peace is coming. But first, remain in my hand. I am working, and I will finish what I've begun. My beloved, let my words settle deep into your heart like dew on quiet grass. Do not brush them off. Do not let impatience chase away what I am doing quietly. Yet, surely, for what is coming, dear one, is unlike anything you've walked through before, and for you to stand under the weight of such glory, I must establish you not outwardly, but in the deepest part of who you are. This is the season of hiding, not of failure. This is where I train, correct, and purify. While everything appears still, I am doing more than ever before. Layers within your soul are being excavated. Dark corners you've avoided are being illuminated, not to shame you, but to prepare a foundation where no falsehood can survive. You will not emerge wearing the mask of perfection. You will emerge with truth in your eyes, humility in your steps, and a heart refined by my very presence. Let me be the only compass that guides you. Do not follow hurried voices, flashy opportunities, or the gaze of others that makes you want to move before I release you. Hurry is a sweet trap. It promises fast results, but has no roots. If you move at the push of emotion rather than my word, you will step out unready, and the light within you will scorch rather than shine. But if you wait, if you listen, if you let my voice become your breath, then, when I call, you will no longer be the same. I see the day ahead, the day I will call your name in the crowd, not to elevate you, but to glorify my name through you. You will speak, and chains in others will break. You will move, and atmospheres will shift not because of your volume, but because I will be in your every word, glance, and step. You will become a gate through which I pour healing, truth, and restoration. But that will only come if you complete this season of hiddenness, a time when your heart is no longer swayed by praise, nor shaken by rejection. I know waiting is not easy. I see the times you want to scream at the delays. I see the silent tears, the days you feel you are wasting time. But child, I do not play with your heart. Every day in this season holds eternal value. Every moment you choose obedience over reaction, I lay another stone beneath the foundation on which you'll one day stand. And the day will come when you'll look back and thank me for not letting you step out too soon. In this season, let me be your only source. Do not seek validation from others. Do not need anyone to understand. Let the affirmation come from me. Let my love be enough, even when you feel alone. I have never abandoned my sheep. Even in the darkest valley, I walk with you. Even when you hear nothing, I am still whispering. Even when doors close, I am making a way in realms no one sees. I will not let you lose your way. I am leading you on a path few tread, but one that leads to a place beyond imagination. For when I call you out, it will not be a moment of impulse. It will be the moment I ordained from the beginning. And in that moment, no power will hinder you. No resistance will derail you. No darkness will extinguish your light, because that light does not come from you, but from me, the one who lit it at the beginning of your life. So, my beloved child, remain in the secret place. Let me continue to inscribe every word of mine upon your spirit. Let me sharpen you like an arrow hidden in a quiver. For soon, very soon, I will release you, and you will strike the mark, without faltering or missing your aim. You will no longer be merely the one healed. You will become the vessel of healing. You will no longer wait for miracles. You will be the one through whom I manifest miracles. You will no longer be a whisper in the shadows. You will be a voice in the square. But before light can spread, it must be nurtured in the dark. Before the grain turns golden, it must first be buried deep within the soil. And that is where you are now, in my hands, under my watch, held in the sacred stillness of divine preparation. So do not envy those who are stepping out. Do not compare your journey with anyone else's, for your portion is set apart. It is holy. It is ordained by the one who never mistimes. Be steadfast, be still, and know that I am your God, and I am about to call you forth. Then the world will know this is the one I have hidden, taught, and now send to fulfill my will. No more half measures, No more fear. Only one person filled, sent, and wholly covered in me. My beloved, your heart has been heavy lately. I see it. I am not fooled by the strength you try to wear each day. I know the moments when you smile outwardly while your inner world falls silent. I see every forced gesture, every pain you suppress, every sigh too deep for words. No one knows how tired you truly are, but I do. No one sees all you've had to carry in silence, but I've witnessed it all, every rapid heartbeat, every quiet turn away, not in anger, but because you lack the strength to speak. You've asked, Lord, are you still there? Do you see me? And I answer, my eyes have never left you, not for a single second. Is it? There are nights when you lie still, no longer able to cry, not because the pain is gone, but because it has numbed your soul. There are times when you long to pray, but your words break before they take form. I do not fault you for that. My child, I do not withdraw when you are speechless. I do not back away when your faith trembles to believe you are still loved. On the contrary, I draw closer. I press my heart against the hollow spaces in yours, where you thought I had left. I am sitting in quiet not to explain, but simply to be. My child, I have collected every tear no one saw. None were wasted. They are prayers in silence. They are cries from the depths of your heart that only I understand. Every drop is a surrender, not with words, but with the raw truth. I have no one else but you. And that is the kind of prayer I never turn away. For you did not come to me with strength, you came in pieces, not in joyful song, but in a soul storm. And it was in that storm that I held you. I do not grow distant when you doubt. I do not take offense when your faith trembles. I am not disappointed when you are weary from waiting for what I promised. You think I am near only when you are strong, but the truth is, I am closest when you have nothing left to hold on to. When your hands are empty, I hold you. When your feet cannot go on, I carry you. And those footprints along the path of pain, most of them are not yours, they are mine. You don't need to pretend you're okay with me. You don't need to be brave in my presence. You can exhale your weakness, and I will take it in. You can admit your exhaustion, and I will not turn away. My love is not determined by your moods. My presence is not dictated by the ebb and flow of your faith. I am faithful, and even when you are not, I remain unchanged. Not because you deserve it, but because I am Father. I loved you before you knew how to love me. I chose you not for what you could do for me, but because I saw you as precious. I saw every breaking point before it happened, and I still called you mine. I am not shaken by your weakness. I have already prepared grace enough to lift you, not just once, but again and again. Every morning that you wake and still breathe is proof that my grace still flows gentle, patient, and unending. You thought you had disappointed me by doubting my timing, but no. I understand. I know that waiting often feels longer than expected, that some promises seem endlessly delayed, that some dreams appear as if they'll never come true, and that there are moments when you feel hope slipping, but that doesn't push me away. On the contrary, I stay near to keep your flame from going out. I catch the smallest ember of your faith and breathe life into it again. I don't require a blazing fire, just a flicker. I can reignite it. Even now, as you read these words, I am walking beside you. Not loud, not forceful, but close enough for peace to seep into the empty spaces of your soul. I am not just the one who redeemed you once. I am the one still sustaining you daily. Every step you take, my footsteps are beside yours. When you are weak, I don't push you to move faster. I adjust my pace to stay with you. When you stop out of weariness, I sit down beside you. And when you can only lift your eyes in silence, I whisper, I am here. I have never left. My beloved, I am still carrying you through this season, even if you can't feel it, even if you don't see it. There are burdens you think you're bearing, but they are on my shoulders. There are battles you think you'll have to face, but I've already gone ahead and closed doors you didn't know were open. There are dangers you'll never touch because I've intercepted them from afar. Just because you don't always see what I'm doing doesn't mean I'm doing nothing. So, rest in me. Let your shoulders be lightened by knowing I'm bearing the heaviest part. Let your mind stop questioning and begin trusting. Let your heart melt in my presence where there is no pressure to perform, only peace to be fully known. You may lean on me, and I will never push you away. For I am shelter to the weary, living water to the dry, and open arms to the one with nowhere else to fall. And my child, if you can do only one thing today, let it be this: allow me to love you, even in your mess. Don't wait until you're strong to return. Don't wait until you're sure to pray. Just come. Just let go. Just cry. And just believe I'm still here, still reaching. Still patient. Still calling you my beloved. Oh, my child. Hear this clearly and let it soak deep into your soul. You are a work of art being shaped by my own hands, not by the world. Not by comparisons. Not by compliments or human approval. You are a masterpiece. And I, the Creator, have never been rushed in crafting anything of eternal worth. I do not mold you in haste, nor do I shape you to please passing expectations. I am refining you detail by detail for a purpose greater than even you can imagine. Beloved, when I tell you to guard your heart, it is because I see what lurks at doors you cannot. There are arrows coated in sugar, advice that sounds like truth but dulls your faith. There are rains named disappointment, falling gently day by day, hardening the soil of your soul and eroding your love for me. But my child, keep that tenderness. Don't let anger claim the place reserved for anointing. Don't let unhealed emotion pull you from the very place where I am healing you. The enemy doesn't need you to scream. He only wants you to stop believing. He seeks to make your heart cold, dry, and so guarded that I am no longer allowed to touch it. But a soft heart is where I pour my grace. A pure heart is where I dwell. And faithfulness in the quiet is where I do my deepest work. You think you're being buried, but you are being planted. And no one plants a seed to leave it underground forever. I will cause it to bloom in the right season. You are a seed, but not a small one. You carry within you the potential to become a vast forest, a place where the weary will find shade, where the lost sheep will find their way home, where generations will be nourished by what you've faithfully guarded today. And if you are a forest, then this hidden season is your roots reaching deep. Don't pull yourself out of the secret place just because you don't yet see the fruit. For the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. And the stronger the tree, the more it can shelter others. I know you have vision in your heart. I placed it there. I know you long to speak, to move, to do something great for me. And you will, but not yet. Now is the time for me to tend to the parts of you still fractured, to heal the quiet wounds. No one sees wounds that could become blades in your hands if not healed rightly. For I do not want those I send you to serve to be hurt by your unhealed hands. So do not fear the hidden place. Do not be ashamed of being unnamed. Do not grow weary because you don't yet see the result. Premature exposure can ruin what I've taken time to build. Let me hold you a little longer, like a father shielding his daughter from unworthy eyes, like a potter spinning his clay just a while more for perfecting. For in due time, I will bring you into the light, not so that you may be admired, but so that I may be seen through your life. And when that moment comes, you will not be swayed by the applause because you have been acquainted with silence. You will not chase recognition, for I have taught you that you don't need to be recognized in order to be validated. You will not tremble when you step forward, because you know it is I who send you, I who authorize you, I who stand behind every step you take. And if I am with you, nothing can stand against you. So, my child, let me be the one who whispers into your ear in the stillness of the night. Do not listen to the crowds. Do not seek direction from voices that change with the seasons. I alone have a voice worthy of trust. Let me teach you how to walk, step by step. Let me affirm you, so that when the day comes for you to step out, you will not need the gaze of admiration, for you will know that you have been loved, chosen, and anointed before anyone ever knew your name. And if you ask, when will I be released to go? I will whisper, when you no longer need to go to prove anything, when your only desire is for me to be glorified, when your heart is no longer stirred by applause or wounded by criticism, when you don't need to see the outcome in order to remain faithful, that is when you are ready. And until then, remain where I have placed you. Love me in the hidden place. Obey me even when no one is watching. And I promise you, the light that comes from me will cause you to shine without striving. My beloved child, I now speak to you, not with thunder, nor with lightning that splits the sky, but with the voice of a father who sits beside you, gentle, honest, and full of patience. My words do not come to intimidate, but to heal, not to suppress, but to awaken, not to condemn, but to remind you of who you are and how I created you to be. I am the one who breathed the first breath into you. I did not only give you life, I shaped the very essence within you. I formed the innermost layers of your soul, the places no one else can touch. I am not surprised that you feel deeply, love with abandon, hurt quietly, and are moved by the seemingly small things. These are not oversensitivities as the world might label them. They are my fingerprints upon your heart. Mercy, compassion, the longing to touch and transform the world around you, these are not weaknesses. They are the marks of a soul fashioned by my loving hand. But my child, I also formed your mind, and it is no less sacred. I gave you the capacity to reason, to discern, to question, to understand, not so you would doubt me, but so that you might know me more deeply. I do not want you blind. True faith is not lifeless surrender. True faith is walking through the fog with a mind illuminated by my word. Your mind is not the enemy of faith. It is a tool I have given you so that, under the guidance of the Spirit, it might discern truth from lies, light from darkness, my voice from all others. I never intended for your heart to live apart from your mind, nor for your reasoning to suppress every spiritual feeling. They were not made to war, but to work together. The heart helps you feel me. The mind helps you remain faithful. Emotions allow you to weep with those who mourn, to rejoice with those who rejoice. But reason will remind you that not every applause is heaven's approval. Not every sense of comfort is true peace. Not every powerful emotion is an inspiration from me. My child, there are times I see you being led too far by emotion, and I gently draw you back with reason. But there are also times you lean heavily on analysis, testing, and logic only to extinguish what I am trying to ignite in your heart. In those moments, I am not angry. I am patient. I wait for you to learn balance, because spiritual maturity does not come when you listen only to your heart or only to your mind, but when both are surrendered to my guidance. That is what I long to see in you, a life where both heart and mind bow before divine wisdom, a life where emotion does not drown out truth, and truth does not dry up love, a life where you can both kneel and weep in my presence and stand firmly against falsehood with clear reason. Then, you will not be pulled by the crowd's emotions, nor frozen by overanalysis. You will walk in steadiness, simple yet sharp, tender but never weak. I have woven you together as a complete being, both soft and strong, with emotional depth and intellectual height. Do not be ashamed when you feel intensely. Do not be worried when you think deeply. And do not try to cut off any part of yourself to please others. You don't need to choose between heart and mind. I chose both when I created you. And when you learn to yield them to the Spirit, you will be wise without cynicism, loving without compromise, steadfast without hardness, gentle without being manipulated. So, my child, pause for a moment. Listen to both your heart and your mind, but make sure both are lit by my word, covered by my presence, and aligned not by emotion or logic alone, but by me. Sit with me each day, even in silence, so I may teach you how to unify your heart and mind in one current flowing toward me, because you are a complete masterpiece, a creation lacking nothing, a symphony in which every note was written by a conductor who never misses a beat. And only when your heart and mind sing together in that song will you live in alignment with your design and walk the very path I prepared for you from the beginning. I delight in you, my beloved child. Keep walking, led by both your feelings and your understanding, and always under my direction. My child, the things you feel are not wrong. It is I who placed mercy within you. It is I who planted that burning fire for righteousness. I rejoice when you weep with the hurting, when your heart breaks over injustice, when you rise in anger at what is wrong, because I am like that too. I am the God of compassion. I do not turn away from the cries of humanity. But my child, I want you to understand this. The heart is only part of the weapon I've given you. The other, equally essential, is a mind led by the Holy Spirit. You need both a tender heart and a discerning mind, because the enemy is not afraid of your emotions. He does not fear your passion if it lacks the root of wisdom. He won't try to smother your compassion. He will twist it. He will use your empathy as a reverse arrow, so you defend what I intended for you to release. He will make you protect what seems pitiful, forgetting that not all weakness comes from pain. Some comes from rebellion. That is why I placed within you a mind able to discern, not to make you cold, but to help you know when to stop, not to make you suspicious of everyone, but to help you test every spirit, not just to distinguish right from wrong, but to recognize what is truly from me and what merely carries the appearance of me. There are things that sound reasonable, even bear my name, but are in fact strategies of manipulation. There are actions that appear loving, but are rooted in fear or unhealed guilt. You need clarity to avoid being led astray by the outer garment of kindness. Remember, emotions reflect the heart, but they are not your compass. There will be days when you feel an intense urge to act, to speak, to fix something. And if you do not pause to ask me, if you don't let my word shine on it, that zeal will turn into impulsiveness, I have seen many with fire in their hearts, but lacking light in their minds, so that same fire consumed both themselves and those they tried to help. I do not want that for you, my child. Therefore, I call you to slow down. Let every action flow from my guidance, not from pressure. Let every decision come from confidence in me, not from urgency. Not everything that feels urgent is right. Not every need is a call from heaven. There are things I have ordained, but not for you to do. There are people I have anointed, but not for you to rescue. And there are battles, though unjust, that I call you to remain silent in, for it is not yet your time. I am teaching you something greater than mercy, discernment. Discernment does not kill kindness. It protects kindness from being exploited. It does not make you cynical. It helps you place trust in the right places. It does not make you stop loving. It refines your love to be sharp, timely, and wise. For true love does not only embrace, it knows when to withdraw. True love does not only say yes, it knows when to say no. And true love, my child, is always grounded in truth. So I invite you to come even closer, not to do more, but to learn to do rightly. I do not measure you by how much you do for others, but by how obedient you are to me. If I say, wait, then waiting is the strongest action you can take. If I say, step back, then in that very moment, you are walking in the clearest guidance. And if I say, stay silent, it is because your words are not yet timed, and I love the hearer enough to withhold what they are not ready to receive. You are not delayed because you are weak. You have been paused because you are significant. You are not being held back because I've forgotten you, but because I am refining your voice, your hands, and your steps, so that when I send you, nothing will shake you. In that moment, your zeal will no longer stand alone but be wrapped in understanding. Compassion will no longer be naive, but become a stream that flows in the right direction, to the right place. And the passion within you will no longer burn uncontrollably. It will become a holy fire, guiding, warming, and consuming all that must be destroyed. My beloved child, I have given you my heart gentle and full of mercy, and I have also given you my mind clear, just, unwavering. When you learn to combine both, you will become a trustworthy instrument, not bent under pressure, nor broken under expectation. You will know when to advance and when to be still. You will know when to speak and when to pray in silence. And I will entrust you with greater assignments, not because you are perfect, but because you have allowed me to shape both your heart and your mind in my light. Do not fear the waiting. Do not fear the interruptions. Do not fear the silence. Fear this instead, acting without me. For anything that does not originate from me will not sustain you to the end. But what comes from me, though delayed, though requiring waiting, though marked by wrestle, will stand firm, endure, and carry true life. All you need to do is choose what I choose. The rest I will fulfill, for I am the Lord Jehovah, the beginning and also the finisher. My child, there have been seasons in your life when you followed the voice in your heart, not out of rebellion, but out of longing. You didn't intend to go astray. You simply wanted to believe in goodness. You opened your heart because you were made to love. You placed your trust because you wanted to believe everyone deserved a chance. And I saw that. I do not fault you for loving. I am not grieved that you gave, for I am love and I place that capacity in you. But, my child, To love does not mean to be blind. To believe does not mean you must never verify. And to open your heart does not mean dismantling the fences I taught you to build. I saw every moment you rushed ahead. I saw you walk in without asking me. I saw your eyes light up when something seemed right. And your heart quickly believed it was from me. But, my child, not everything that seems right is truly from me. Some things are wrapped in kindness but are not rooted in truth. Some people speak sweet words, but their spirit is not connected to my spirit. And I tried to warn you, not with thunder, but with a whisper, not with resistance, but with something so subtle, a hesitation, an unease in your mind, a red flag that flickered in what appeared to be a perfect scene. I spoke, but you didn't hear, not because you were stubborn, but because your heart so deeply wanted to believe that this time would be different. I stirred a hesitation within you, but you mistook it for fear. I created pauses for you to reconsider, but you interpreted them as circumstantial delays. You confused emotional urgency with the prompting of the Holy Spirit, and in your desire to love and be loved, you stepped past the signals I placed along your path. I never left you, not for one step. When you hurt, I hurt with you. When betrayal struck, when your arms reached out and found no embrace, when what you trusted turned into wounds, I was there. Not to say, I told you so, but to hold you, to wipe your tears, and to say, we will learn together. Because I am not only your teacher in truth, I am your Father who walks with you through every bruise. Now, I am teaching you something only the brokenhearted can learn: how to honor the divine wisdom I have placed within you. Not suspicion disguised as discernment, not coldness dressed as experience, but true discernment born from a heart that once hurt, but now chooses to listen to the Spirit rather than emotion. I am teaching you how to distinguish what love is truly from me, and what is merely a pull from an unhealed need. I am teaching you to walk with your eyes open, but your heart still tender, to move with wisdom, but not lose faith in what is good. You do not have to become suspicious of everything just to avoid pain. You only need to learn to ask me. Just pause and invite me in before you proceed. Because I do not want you to stop loving. I want you to love with discernment. I do not want you to build walls. I want you to know when to open the gate. Not to shut others out, but to guard what is sacred, not because you are cold, but because you have learned the value of spiritual protection. And that is true wisdom, not born of fear, but forged through walking with me through seasons of tears. My child, do not be ashamed of the times you believed wrongly. Do not blame yourself for opening your heart to the wrong people. I do not write endings where you are merely learning. I do not withdraw my love over immature choices. On the contrary, I use even those disappointments to build in you a deeper, stronger ability to hear. And next time, when silence rises in your spirit, you will recognize it not as anxiety, but as my voice. And when I whisper, slow down, you won't think I'm keeping you from something good, but know I'm protecting something far more precious. I am leading you into a season where you won't just sense wisdom, you will live in it. A wisdom that is gentle, not arrogant, firm, but not rigid. A wisdom that teaches you to bow before me in every decision. A wisdom that doesn't force you to protect yourself with distance, but with my presence. A wisdom that, every time you listen, brings peace, not pressure. You will learn to discern what is real and what is counterfeit. And when what is right and from me finally comes, You will no longer be afraid because peace will flood your soul, and there will be no need to strive. So forgive yourself. My beloved, don't let past mistakes silence your future. Let me use what looked like failure to train your spiritual ears, mature your heart, and illuminate your mind with my living word. You won't just move forward, you will go deeper. You won't just be healed, you will carry healing for others. Because the wisdom you gained in yesterday's tears will become the light for someone else's tomorrow. My beloved, let this be engraved on your heart, not as a dry instruction, but as a small lamp to light your way in the dim days. I did not call you to walk with your eyes shut, nor to believe with ears closed. The faith I've given you is not blindness, nor is it a cloak to cover reckless risks. True faith does not silence reason, nor does it suppress thought. True faith is a trust that has been refined, a surrender that flows from knowing, from deeply understanding who I am, what I've done, and where I'm leading you. My child, I want the faith in you to have roots, not just wings. Some soar high in emotion, but crash when reality hits because their roots are shallow. I do not want that for you. I want you steady, not because you're hard-hearted, but because you can tell the difference between passing emotion and the prompting of my spirit. I have not taught you haste, nor have I pushed you to act because the crowd shouts. I have taught you to listen deeply enough to dare be silent. Dare delay. Dare wait. Just to be certain that what you are about to do is right in my eyes, not merely right in the eyes of others. Faith is not leaping into the dark and saying, God will catch me. No, my child. Faith is standing in the dark and still believing I am there and listening for my voice to know when to step, when to stop, when to kneel, when to climb. Sometimes obedience will lead you forward, but there will also be times when faith itself teaches you to stop, and that pause is not failure. It is the evidence of wisdom, of a faith deeper than fleeting emotions. You must understand that I do not honor recklessness cloaked in spiritual language. I do not call foolishness a walk of faith. Those things have no place in my kingdom. I honor obedience, and true obedience does not always mean move now. Sometimes it means step back, observe, pray, and discern. Obedience does not mean don't ask questions. In fact, obedience is born in the asking of the right questions, in a spirit of humility, with a desire to understand my ways more deeply. Even my son, the perfect one, the sinless one, did not live impulsively or in haste. He was never driven by emotion. Though he was full of love, he was not moved by human urgency to determine the timing of his actions. Though he carried infinite power within, he did not perform miracles for the sake of recognition, though a mere wave of his hand could awe the multitudes. Why? Because he walked in wisdom, a quiet, profound wisdom, led by me, not by the hearts of men. He withdrew to quiet places, not because of weakness, but because he deeply understood the importance of listening. He did not entrust his heart to everyone, though he loved them, for he knew well the limitations of the human heart and the necessity of discernment. Do you see? Child, maturity does not come when you are able to do everything, but when you know what must be done and what must be left for me to do. When you know how to sit still while the world rushes on. When you wait for my confirmation while others pressure you to act in faith. Oh, my child, impulsiveness is not a form of faith. At times, it is fear in disguise. fear of missing out, fear of being forgotten, fear of falling behind, arriving late, or losing the blessing. But I will never have you chase after what I have not given. When you are led by me, nothing truly meant for you will ever be taken away. And when you submit to my timing, you will discover walking by the Spirit never makes you slow, it makes you precise. And that, my child, is what I long to see in you, a child of deep faith, not because you always know everything, but because you always wait to hear from me, one who does not seek easy answers, but seeks my presence, one who uses the mind to discern, the heart to feel, and the spirit to decide, one who is not swayed by the winds of public opinion, but stands firm in the storm, knowing nothing is more secure than my will for you. So do not rush. Do not be quick to label what you have not yet seen as faith, and do not be ashamed to pause and ask. Asking does not make your faith weak. In fact, when you ask me with a sincere heart, I rejoice to reveal I am not threatened by your questions. I am saddened only when you ask the whole world and forget to ask me. My beloved, let your faith not be a fleeting flame, but an oil lamp that burns steadily through the long night. Let every decision you make be colored by listening, steeped in discernment, and sparked by certainty in me. Then, you will not only walk by faith, but also in wisdom. And where faith is guided by wisdom, there will be good fruit, eternal outcomes, and unshakable peace. This is what I am teaching you, not to slow you down, but to keep you on course, not to cause you to doubt, but to lead you deeper, not to control you, but to protect the treasure I have placed within you. Do you see? Faith is not a blind leap. Faith is knowing me so intimately that even when things are unclear, you still walk in confidence, not ahead of me, not behind me, but in step with me, and that is the most beautiful place for you to be, in rhythm with the Spirit, under the light of truth, and within my unchanging embrace. Oh, my beloved child, do not think that spiritual maturity comes only through tears or intense battles. The maturity I am leading you into is also shaped through subtle choices, through moments when you choose to pause and reflect instead of reacting quickly, and through times when you remain silent even when your heart burns to speak. Maturity is not about growing callous, but about becoming deep enough to know what to hold and what to release. It is when you not only hear with a tender heart, but also reason with a mind purified by my truth. I am raising you not merely to survive, but to reign. Not only to love, but to love rightly. Not just to feel something, but to discern where it comes from and whether you should act on it. The enemy is a master of disguise. He can turn your compassion into a chain. He can take your sensitivity and use it as a net to pull you away from where I've placed you. He doesn't need to stop you by force if he can make you believe that helping is reason enough to disobey. But child, not every cry is a call from heaven. I know you carry kindness, zeal, and the faith that you can do good for many. But if you do not learn to see beyond appearances, you will be easily deceived. Some will come disguised as the needy, but are truly messengers of depletion. Some needs may appear valid, yet are designed only to stir undisciplined compassion. You will feel you must do something, when what I want you to do is be still and know that I am God. In the seasons of stillness, He will stir up urgency. In moments meant for reflection, He will provoke emotional reactions. And if you walk without asking me, even with the right heart, You can still walk outside of what I have commanded. But do not misunderstand, this is not a call to close your heart. I do not want the love within you to grow cold. I am purifying it. I want your love to be poured from a deep well, guarded, preserved, and yielded to the Spirit. An open well is not only easily emptied, but easily polluted. I placed kindness in you, but not naivety. I gave you mercy, but not so you would be led by every cry without discernment. There are people I've called you to lift, and others I have not. Not because they are unworthy, but because they are not your portion. Obedience sometimes looks like saying no, even when you can say yes. That is why I placed within you a mind, not to oppose faith, but to protect it. Your mind is not the enemy. It is not a barrier between you and the Spirit. On the contrary, when surrendered to me, when renewed by my word, it becomes a fortress against confusion, manipulation, and chaos. It becomes a lighthouse, shining when feelings are unclear. It becomes a compass, guiding you when calls from every direction threaten your focus. When you live with a renewed mind, you will begin to see differently. Your choices will no longer be pulled by who needs me, but led by where is God taking me. Your relationships will no longer be defined by who loves me, but discerned by who carries the same Spirit. You will begin to filter what is important, what is urgent, and what is truly from me. What once overwhelmed you will become clear. What once drained, you will no longer have the same hold. And then, you will no longer be ruled by every storm around you. You will no longer be torn between demands and pressures. You will know when to love through action, and when to love through stepping back. You will know when to speak, and when to intercede in silence. You will learn a mature kind of love, one that is not controlled, one that gives without being drained, and one that lives kindly while preserving spiritual clarity. My child, let your mind become fertile ground where I can plant my word deeply. Do not let it become a battlefield between ungoverned emotion and untested calling. Let me govern every thought, every decision, every idea you believe is right. For sometimes, what seems best is not what is right for my timing, and I do not want you trading clarity for fleeting comfort. I want you to have true peace, not peace from avoidance, but peace born from walking fully with me. So, my child, do not fear when I ask you to stop. Do not be surprised when I lead you opposite of where your heart pulls. For it is in those very moments that you are learning the lesson of maturity, a lesson reserved for those I love most deeply. And then, day by day, season by season, decision by decision, you will become more like me, full of mercy, yet grounded in discernment, not merely one who loves, but one who loves as I love, not just one who does the right thing, but one who does the right thing at the right time, in the right way, in the Spirit. And then you will see, nothing is lost, but everything is given with purpose. No love is wasted, for it is poured in the right place. No prayer is in vain, for it is lifted with guidance. And no action is meaningless, for it is done not just out of goodness, but out of obedience. And that is what delights me, not only that you love, but that you love in me. My child, the world has taught you something that seems wise. Follow your heart. Let your emotions lead. Do what makes you feel alive. But in truth, it was the enemy who helped spread those words, not because they are entirely wrong, but because they are incomplete. The heart is a precious gift I placed within you. Yet, if it is not held under my light, it can easily be bent by fleeting feelings, clouded by selfish desires, and led astray by impressions that seem sacred but are not. I gave you a heart to feel, and I gave you a mind to test what you feel. I placed in you desires, but I also placed the ability to discern whether those desires align with my will. I want you to live with fire, but a fire kept in the furnace of wisdom, not a flame that burns wildly without watch. If you walk only by emotion, you may fall into impulsiveness. If you live only by reason, you may become hardened. But when you walk by my Spirit, He will guide both. He will align your heart, renew your mind, and lead you into wholeness. Do not think I am displeased when you ask questions. Do not think I am angry when you come to me and say, "Lord, is this from you?" On the contrary, I delight when you dare to pause in the noise to hear me. I see your humility when you say, "Confirm it." Lord, examinate. Speak clearly. That is the sign of a maturing child, one who no longer chases after what merely seems good, but waits for what is truly good and from God. And when you act from that place of discernment, you are no longer easily manipulated. You become steady. You are no longer swayed by the winds of emotion. You are led by the unshakable voice of my Spirit. There will be moments when something feels overwhelmingly right, a dream, a person, an opportunity. Your breath quickens, emotions ignite, and in that moment, everything seems to line up. But I invite you to stop. Ask me, not because I wish to withhold from you, but because I long to protect you from things that are beautiful but hollow. Some opportunities are real, but not for now. Some people are from me, but not for this season. Some dreams are right, but need reshaping so they won't carry pride or misguided expectations. There will also be times when your reasoning seems flawless. The plan makes perfect sense. The path is clear, well thought out, and logical. But then I whisper, "Not yet." And that is when you must bow your head again and ask, "Father, is this truly your plan or something I've constructed to make sense?" Because not everything that makes sense aligns with my heart. Not everything you can arrange brings me glory. I do not oppose your mind. I created it. But your reasoning only becomes powerful when it is surrendered, when it no longer merely processes data, but is taught by the Spirit. And then, my child, there will be times when others speak into your life. They encourage, they advise, they persuade. Sometimes they warn. Some of it is true. Some of it is not. You must learn not to receive everything too quickly, nor to shut your heart entirely. I am teaching you a precious spiritual habit. Bring every word spoken into the secret place. Lay it before me and ask, "Father, are you speaking through them?" Do not rush to conclusions. Do not trust your instincts too completely. For there are things you want to hear so badly that you will mistake your own longing for my voice longings that have not yet been tested. Maturity does not come when you know much, but when you are willing to ask more. Discernment is not the absence of emotion. It is the offering of every emotion as a sacrifice. You will learn to live without being rushed, without being frozen by fear. You will come to know what is truly from me, not just because it stirs you, but because it deepens you. Not just because it feels right in the moment, but because it endures. Not just because it feels good, but because it makes you more like me. So, do not despise your mind. Do not see reason as a hindrance. When you allow my word to renew your mind, it becomes a place where I can write my will with clarity. It becomes a filter for your emotions. It becomes the gate of your soul where everything must be tested before entering. A surrendered mind is no longer a place of doubt, but a place of discernment. No longer a place of calculation, but a place where heaven's strategies are received. You will begin to see that decisions become more recognizable, not because everything becomes easy, but because everything begins to align. What was blurry becomes clear. What was tangled becomes ordered. Toxic relationships will be exposed. Divine connections will be strengthened. And you will begin to see this is what true freedom is. Not being pulled by every emotion. Not being trapped in the whirlpool of charming words, but standing firm in the peace that flows from a renewed mind. You will no longer love just because you feel pity, but love with clarity. No longer act from guilt, but from prompting. No longer be paralyzed by too many options, but walk in the light. This is the life I've prepared for you, not hurried, not foggy, not tossed by the wind. A life with direction, with purpose, with guidance led by me, the one who crafted you with both heart and mind. My beloved child, listen with your whole being, not just with your ears, but with the deep places of your soul where I often whisper in the quiet of early mornings. I come to you now not with urgency, but with a weighty peace deeper than any emotion you've ever felt. I know you live in a world of pressure where every voice demands a reaction, where every open door is seen as a sign from heaven, where haste is labeled as faith. But child, I am not in the noise. I am in the stillness, in the waiting beats, in the pauses you call delay, but I call training. The enemy does not fear someone who burns for a moment. He fears someone who is tempered, who knows how to pull back and consider, who can say, "Not yet," unless the Lord speaks. He trembles at the soul who has learned self-control, who is no longer led by emotion, but guided by the Spirit. He is terrified of the one who not only loves me in feeling, but thinks with me, weighs with me, and decides based on the instruction I've etched deep into their heart, because such a person cannot be manipulated. Such a person is not easily swayed, and such a person is the greatest threat to the kingdom of darkness. My child, you are in a sacred season, a time where I am not rushing you to the destination, but refining every step, every spiritual muscle, every reaction within your mind. I am training you not with daily loud commands, but with the seeming silence, so you will learn to examine what truly comes from me. Every opportunity that comes your way now is not just a worldly test. It is a divine lesson I'm using to ask, do you still recognize my voice? Can you still tell the difference between the doors I open and the traps disguised with praise, invitations, and false favor? Not everything that comes at the right time is from me. Not every beautiful invitation brings life. I'm teaching you to filter, not through fear, but through discernment. I'm teaching you so that when the world shouts, grab this chance. You will turn and ask me first, Father, is this from you? And if I say, no, you will be strong enough to step back, not out of weakness, but because you know, one step outside, my will is a journey off course. I am digging deep beneath every decision you make. I look not just at the actions, but the reasons behind them. Did you choose that because I spoke, or because your heart longed? Did you go there because I sent you, or because you feared missing out? Did you speak because I put the words in your mouth, or because you needed approval? These questions are not meant to make you doubt. but to teach you how to live truly, walk truly, believe truly, not falsely, not superficially, not shakily. And in all of this, I am not withdrawing from you. No, child, I am closer than ever. I am whispering things the world cannot hear. I am placing gentle reminders in your soul, sometimes as restlessness, sometimes as unusual delay, sometimes as a silence filled with warning. Do not dismiss these things. They are my ways of protecting you. For my guidance does not always come as a thunderclap. It comes as the manifestation of peace. A kind of peace that does not come from everything making sense, but from everything aligning with me. And I promise you this, I will give you peace that surpasses emotion, a peace that does not crumble in hardship, does not vanish when plans change, does not panic when others misunderstand you. That peace comes from knowing that I am here, that I hold the timing, that I am guarding your soul moment by moment. That peace flows from my unchanging promise, my unwavering word, my faithful presence. And when you walk in that peace, something will shift. You will no longer be pulled by every unexpected open door. You will no longer be caught in the race to prove yourself. You will no longer feel the need to react to every word or action of others. You will walk with clear purpose, with feet grounded on the rock, with eyes no longer scattered but fixed on me. That is when you are strongest, not when you do many things, but when you dare not do what I have not called. Not when you shout loudly, but when you choose silence in obedience. Not when you are celebrated, but when you are kept. Because the goal is not to reach quickly, but to arrive rightly at the exact time, on the path I've carefully prepared just for you. So if you find yourself slowing down, being set apart from enticing invitations, having your thoughts refined, this is not delay. This is me shaping you, preparing you for a season that is deeper, greater, and more steadfast. For my plan for you is not fleeting but enduring. Not for flesh, but for eternal impact. And it all begins now as you learn to walk not from fear, not from haste, not from pressure, but for one reason alone. I have spoken, and you believe. That peace will hold you. That peace will guide every decision. That peace will render the enemy powerless to manipulate your emotions. Because a child who walks not by reaction but by divine leading is the one hell fears most. So be still, my child. Let me take you deeper before I take you higher. And just keep walking step by peace, by wisdom, and by the unchanging heartbeat of your Father for you. I am with you, and you will not lose your way. Never, my beloved. Every beat in your chest echoes the life I've breathed into you. That heart is precious not just because it is the source of vitality, but because it is the place I've chosen to dwell. I've touched it, molded it with my hands, and I am nurturing it to become a vessel of love, wisdom, resolve, and spiritual strength. But, my child, because that heart is so precious, it is also vulnerable, easily wounded, easily manipulated, easily swayed if not guarded with care. Do not let your heart outrun your reason, and do not allow your emotions to drive your hands and feet. Emotions are real, I do not deny them. I created the stirrings within you, the wrestlings, the empathy, but I did not give you emotions so that you would be led by them. I gave you emotions so you would know how to respond in love. But I also gave you a mind so that you may pause and discern. When you learn to anchor both your heart and your reason in my word, you will stand firm amid the emotional winds of this age. Let my word be the mirror that reflects into every dark corner of your heart so that I may shape your desires. Test your intentions, and renew even the things you do not yet realize you have wrongly believed. For danger does not always appear in fierce form. Sometimes it comes disguised as things that sound so right, or appear so sweet, yet slowly pull you away from truth. Sweet words, choices that seem peaceful, relationships that seem just fine. Any of these can be a subtle deception if not held up to my light. You ask me, how can I live in you each day? And I answer, by living in truth. Think in truth. Love in truth. Truth is not only for moments when you stand at a pulpit or pray with tears in your eyes. Truth must be woven into every choice, every conversation, every hidden thought, and every small reaction. It is in these seemingly ordinary things that I see your faithfulness, and it is in the small faithfulness that I place great responsibility. The wisdom you need does not always arrive as lightning bolts or supernatural dreams. Sometimes it comes as a whisper. Don't say that. Don't enter there. Wait. Check your motives. That is the still, small voice of the Holy Spirit, and you will only hear it when you are still. When you choose not to react hastily, when you allow me to be the final voice in your mind. Remember, I do not only desire to be with you during worship gatherings, but also in everyday conversations, in meals, in relationships, in future plans, and even in the things you dare not share with anyone. I care about every detail from what you say to what you silently think, because I love you. I overlook nothing, and I do not only love the spiritual parts of you, I love your whole being, body, mind, emotions, and soul. Therefore, ask me for wisdom, not with doubt, but with faith. I am not a strict taskmaster, nor a distant God. I am your Father, always willing to give, always waiting to pour out, and never reproaching you when you need help. I am not the God of chaos, not the God of confusion. I am the God of clarity, of light, and of truth. So, my child, let your heart burn for me, love. Feel deeply, and be tender toward the things that break my heart. But at the same time, let your mind be held firmly in me, not swayed by trends, not trembling at emotions, not drifting with the tides of society. You were made to carry both, passion and discernment. Let the fire burn in your heart, but let my word be the hearth that keeps that flame burning in the right direction. And when you learn this balance, you will walk through places where the enemy lurks and remain untouched. You will live in the world, but not belong to it. You will love without being exploited, give without being drained. You will walk boldly without becoming harsh, be gentle without being easily wounded, be alert without growing cynical, be at peace without becoming numb. Do not fear what you don't yet understand. Do not shy away from questions that have no immediate answers. Do not be ashamed that you are still learning. I am your teacher. I am your faithful counselor, your gentle defender, your Father who will not abandon you. You are not foolish because you don't yet know you are growing. You are not lost. You are being led, step by step, word by word, season by season, and in each step, I am right beside you, not only watching, but holding, guiding, and instructing every detail. So, my beloved, continue walking your heart softened by my love, your mind renewed by my word, and your spirit awakened to my presence. This is the life that is protected. This is the life no longer driven by vague emotion, but by the light of faith. This is how you live deeply in me, and when you live this way, I will be your covering cloud by day, your fire by night, and the voice that speaks clearly in the stillness. I am with you, not only in sacred moments, but in every beat of your daily life, and I will not leave, not ever. Amid the noise and the tempting invitations, you choose to step into the quiet and whisper your prayer to me, Almighty God, who sees even the unformed thoughts in my heart. Today I come before you not to demand, but to surrender. Too many times I have chased after emotion, letting my heart be pushed by fleeting impressions and urges. But now, I ask you to help me pause, to learn to listen, and to wait for your voice in the silence. Pour out upon me a mind renewed, not swayed by the crowd, not shaken by passing winds. Teach me to love without blindness, to act without haste, and to believe without needing all the answers. I place in your hands both my emotions and my reason, my passion and my logic, and ask that you use them all to shape me into the one you designed me to be. Heavenly Father, all-wise One, I thank you for not allowing me to be led by haste. I've come to realize that not everything that looks right is from you, and not everyone who comes to me carries good intentions. Let your Holy Spirit illuminate my mind, so I can discern what is true from what is false, what is eternal from what is temporary. Do not let me act from pressure, emotional impulse, or the desire to please others. I don't want to be impulsive in your name, but sent forth in awareness. Shape my heart to your will, and make me sensitive to your prompting, even when it comes in silence. Faithful God, I know my heart is easily swayed, easily swept away by things that seem beautiful, necessary, good, and perhaps it's for that very reason that I need you more than ever. Teach me how to love with discernment. Teach me how to say no without growing bitter, how to wait without losing hope, how to step back without feeling like I've failed. You are the one who formed me. Please also be the one who tests every thought in me. Please. Father, don't let me stray from you just because I followed my own call. Keep me within your guidance. That is the safest place I know. Lord, I thank you for not letting me live merely by emotion, but for teaching me to live by the Spirit. Thank you for not being angry when I doubt, and for not abandoning me when I ask why. You are patient with my hesitant steps, and gentle when I need correction. Thank you for placing within me a heart that loves and a mind that discerns. In a world where truth and falsehood intertwine, you are the only unchanging light. I am grateful that you don't push me away, but that you mold me, correct me, and hold me in your hand until I am strong enough to be sent. O Lord, who formed my mind and my heart, thank you for teaching me how to love rightly, not blindly, not out of emotional impulse, but with the light of truth. Thank you for opening my eyes to see what is good and what truly belongs to you. And thank you for showing me that wisdom does not kill kindness. It makes love steady, strong, and unexhausted. Each day spent in your clarity is a day of deeper peace. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong and thriving faith community.